Hey guys, Happy New Year. Welcome back to Movie Talk. I haven't done this since July of last year, so let's begin the new year with M3GAN or M3GAN. I thought it was just okay. I still recommend it because there's a lot of entertaining stuff in it, but by the end, I felt disappointed. I did not like the finale. I did not like the ending, and there was a movie that came out years ago that is very similar to this, and I thought that movie did it better. But I do understand people liking this, but I gotta say, after watching the movie and I saw the Rotten Tomato score, I did not expect it to be that high. So for January movies, this is one, according to that, this is one of the best January movies of all time, and this is one of the best horror movies of all time, according to people. So that's why I was shocked. And I know Rotten Tomato scores work as an average. So if a majority of people gave it good reviews, positive reviews, like 3 out of 4 stars, 4 out of 4 stars, yes, then the average of it would be positive. But again, I did not expect it to be that high. Last time I checked, it was like 95%. So yeah, kudos to M3GAN. Um, so for the things I really like about M3GAN before going into spoilers, M3GAN is great. Like the actress who portrayed her, wearing the mask. I saw the behind the scenes thing. It was just a simple mask, and sometimes she put on gloves that look like doll hands, and she was excellent. The voice actress for her was excellent. Oh man, everything about M3GAN is great. I love how at times she can look creepy, but when she's adorable, she is actually adorable, even though she still has the creepy, uncanny valley eyes and stuff like that. She was fantastic, and I thought the acting from a lot of people is really good. The little girl who played Katie, I thought was really good, and Allison Williams, she's great as Gemma, but I'll get to her character in a little bit. Ronnie Chang, I thought was fun. He's not in the movie as much as you think he would be, but yeah, he was fun, and you saw him in the trailer, so you pretty much know what's gonna happen to him. And yeah, that's pretty much all the well-known actors. Everyone else I don't recognize, but they all did a good job. The movie does have a good sense of humor, and I do like that. There were a couple times where they were showing these commercials, these incredibly well done commercials, and they're basically parodies of toy commercials, and I love it. This, I forgot what the toy they're trying to advertise, but it's like this weird, ugly, adorable Furby-like thing with giant eyes, and it just happens to poop. So yeah, they showed this commercial and it was done incredibly well. When they first showed it, I was like, "Oh my god, are we getting another?" Because you see this in the theater and you're thinking, "Wait, are we seeing another ad?" So this is actually well done. But no, you could tell, yeah, this is part of the movie. So yeah, I thought it was technically well made. The shots are good, the score is good, the acting's good. So yeah, I highly recommend it for the craft and M3GAN herself. Um, my biggest problem is that we're supposed to root for Gemma, and especially near the end, but I couldn't. I don't like the character. She is not likable to me. So yeah, so the story is that Katie was in a tragic accident. This kind of hilarious tragic accident, to be honest, where she was going up to the mountains to a ski resort with her parents, and there was a snowstorm, and the parents were arguing a little bit, and then they couldn't see because the weather's getting worse. So the Katie's father stopped the car, and right after that, they get hit by the snowplow. But the way it was done, it looks like the snowplow just turned on the headlights, even though it's a snowstorm and it is a snowplow. So the guy should know to immediately turn on the headlights when they're trying to go through. But I guess the guy decided not to turn it on. And because the way it was edited and shot, it looked like it just turned on the headlights like half a second before it hit the car. Instead of, like you see like faint headlights getting brighter and brighter and brighter, and then it hits the car. Nothing like that. It just turned on at half a second before the crash. So that's why I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, there's no way this guy would do that. And it's not, and they never talked about the snowplow driver either, like saying, oh, he forgot to turn on the headlights or something like that. There's no line about that. So that's why I thought it was hilarious, even though it shouldn't be. It's supposed to be incredibly tragic. But Katie's mother is Gemma's sister, and Gemma honestly doesn't give a damn about the death of her sister. I was paying attention to the movie, but I don't think they really discussed about the relationship between Gemma and her sister. The therapist did say one line about how close were you to your sister, and Gemma said fine, but again, it seemed like she honestly didn't care. Maybe there's like a deleted scene or something like that where it explains more about the relationship between both sisters. Like maybe it was incredibly bad, but no, Gemma just doesn't care. Like she wasn't grieving. She was so focused in her work and everything, and I just couldn't care about that at that point. And when she's trying to build a relationship with Katie, at that point I was like, you already lost it, man. I mean, you focus so much on your work, and you don't, even your coworkers you're kind of mean to and stuff like that. So how am I supposed to root for this character? I kind of wish that the killer robot just goes after, I mean, ends her. So yeah, I was rooting for the killer robot. And not just that, Gemma is supposed to be this genius inventor. Like she created this thing that was in the toy commercial, and she had to make another project. And originally she wanted to make this for Katie, but she does wanted to sell it to the funky toy company. So that's why she created M3GAN. And the biggest problem with that is that she did not install any security protocols. She did not install any parental controls. Nothing. And yes, she did explain that she was in a rush. But I'm sorry. You're supposed to be a genius. And you want to make this for your niece. Your niece, who just suffered a tragic accident. Her parents are dead. So you want to create this this alternative parental guardian for your niece, and you don't think about setting some security controls, parental controls, all that? No, that did not cross your mind, and all your excuse is I was in a rush? No, how am I supposed to root for this character? No. At least in the Child's Play remake, they explained that in the beginning, there was this disgruntled employee who hates working at the company. So what does he do? He, for one of the Chucky dolls, he turns off everything. He turns off all the parental controls, all the filters, everything. So that's why Chucky is self-learning. He can control, he can connect to the internet, and he learns more about deaths and killing and all that stuff. So he is its own person. So yeah, that's the thing. At least in Child's Play remake, they explained that. Here, I just did not like that she's supposed to be this genius, and she did not even implement this. And M3GAN can connect to the internet. She doesn't think that that could be a giant issue? And yes, the coworker even pointed it out, but she does nothing about it. So that was the problem. Like, at this point, you have to shut down M3GAN. At this point, you have to fix her. But nope, she just lets M3GAN stay with her niece. And of course, kills happen. And yes, I understand. In horror movies, people have to make stupid decisions. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a horror movie. But couldn't you write it better than this? I mean, I'm sorry. And again, I understand if this is more like a comedy, like, okay, this is a parody of horror movies. Like, yeah, Gemma did deserve it because she's an idiot and she gets herself killed because of that, in an incredibly funny way. So it's like justice, but no, we're supposed to root for her by the end. And even though Allison Williams did a great job, I'm sorry, Gemma sucks. I do not like this character. So that was, and she's a very major character too. So that's why that was a bit of a disappointment for me. And the other disappointing thing is that Megan is PG-13. And I'm not saying that PG-13 movies cannot be dark. I mean, PG-13 movies can sometimes get away with a lot of things. Like the Sam Raimi movie, shoot, I totally forgot what it's called now. The one with Allison, shoot, Drag Me to Hell. That was PG-13, and it got away with a lot of stuff. Alita Battle Angel, PG-13, got away with a lot of stuff too. And some sequences of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, it got away with dismemberment and beheadings too. So yeah, PG-13 movies can be dark, and they could, you know, get away with a lot of stuff. But here, it is a bit tame because, sure, there are some dead bodies, but you don't really see the dead bodies entirely. And you know what happens to them because of the action, but you don't really see it happening. You know, it's not in full view. So yes, you could say you could let your imagination run wild with it, but for me, it's a bit disappointing because one, you know, you don't really see the deaths, and two, it's a very low body count. And the people who died, like, they kind of seem minor. Like, it seemed like it was gonna head towards something incredibly intense and drastic, but it never went there. Especially when they're supposed to do this launch party for M3GAN, but it doesn't go that crazy. It doesn't go chaotic. So that's why I was let down by that. And there's this... the final sequence is very similar to like the finale of the first Terminator movie, where the Terminator was chasing down Sarah Connor through the factory. So it's as intense as that. Like, we have M3GAN who's malfunctioning, so she's twerking, she's twitching all over the place. So she's trying to hunt down Gemma. And the lighting goes in and out, in and out, in and out. So at that time, it was intense. But by the halfway point, it was trying to be like the scene from Aliens, where Ripley gets out in the mech suit and she says, "Get away from her, you bitch!" It's supposed to be like that moment, but I thought it was incredibly lame. And also, I did spoil myself a bit because I read news about this. I did not know what happens in it. I didn't read the synopsis or something like that. Or the spoilers, but they did say that this movie will be a franchise. So with that in mind, I had some theories on how the movie would end, and it pretty much ends the way you expect a movie like this to end when it's supposed to be made into a franchise. So that was a bit of a problem too. And the ending is very similar to the Child's Play remake. So that's why it was a bit of a bummer for me. So yeah, the ending was predictable, and also is something I have seen before, and I thought it was done better. So yeah, that's why the movie by the end was disappointing to me. And also, it took like almost an hour just to get to the really fun killer robot stuff. So that's why the movie is just okay to me. But the what made this movie entertaining to me, again, is M3GAN. If you've seen the trailers, you see her do these dances and, you know, swinging around. And in this scene with Ronnie Chang, I don't know why, but there just happens to be, this is a toy tech company, mind you, and this is an empty hallway besides a table with a paper cutter. Why is there a table with a paper cutter in the middle of an empty hallway? I don't know. Maybe some people do place it like that, but usually whenever I see paper cutters, they're usually on top of a desk in an office, usually. Not in the middle of an empty hallway, especially for a toy tech company where they focus so much on iPads and stuff. I mean, why do you need the paper cutter? I mean, I understand if you're trying to make schematics and stuff like that, but again, you would keep something like that in your office, in some storage center or something like that, a basement, something, you know? You don't keep that in the middle of an empty hallway. So she takes out the paper cutter blade and was chasing down Ronnie Chang, and Ronnie Chang was running as fast as possible while M3GAN is just power walking, you know? So it's just like Friday the 13th, where, Jason is, slowly stalking his victim, and the victim is running at full speed, but Jason just happens to catch up with them and kill them. Same thing here. So that's, I love it. Like, M3GAN is really not running. She's just walking a little faster than usual, but Ronnie Chang was running at full speed, and he still, dies. So there's that. And oh my God, there's two scenes in this movie that really cracked me up. I mean, I thought they deserve an Oscar just for these two scenes. And they both involve singing. So there's this demonstration with M3GAN, and Katie was in it, and she's supposed to show off M3GAN, like M3GAN is gonna draw or something like that. But Katie broke down. She's crying because she misses her parents. She's crying, tears are falling down her face, and M3GAN comes up to her, and she is comforting her, and she is talking about tell me memories about your mother. She'll always be here in my heart. I could keep this recording for you so you could remember her and everything. So it is a very touching moment. But then M3GAN starts singing. I don't know this song, the first song she sang, but she starts singing. And I was so confused because this came out of nowhere for me. And I did hear people snickering in the, audience start to snicker, and I was just holding it in. I was just mostly confused. But then, all of a sudden, M3GAN was brushing her hair, Katie's hair, and I lost it. I snorted, I laughed, the audience laughed. It was a very great moment. I loved it. Well, I didn't think it would top, there would be any scene to top that, but no. There's a scene later on where M3GAN was singing to Katie because Katie was sad about a boy who died, and even though the boy was a bully, and M3GAN was trying to comfort her, and she started singing, and it happens to be Titanium by David Guetta and Sia. I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. I am titanium. That cracked me. And she brushed Katie's hair as well too. And I lost it. Those two scenes were Oscar gold to me. I just loved it. And yeah, there was that scene where M3GAN is going after the bully, and she started running on all fours incredibly quickly. That was great. So. But the kills themselves, again, it's PG-13, so, but it's not really that dark, like, and also it's a low body count, so that's why it was disappointing to me. At least the Child's Play remake, it is rated R, you do see the gore, you do see the death, so I got what I wanted from that movie. Here, I just wish that was rated R. And it's not like it was, shot like a rated R movie, then cut down to PG-13, like, with the terrible editing and stuff like that, just to cut it down to PG-13. No, it doesn't seem like that. It seemed like this was intentionally supposed to be PG-13. So I'll give it credit. Maybe there's an unrated cut, but I don't think there will be. But it is a Blumhouse movie, so we'll see. Usually they do have unrated cuts. So that's pretty much how I feel about M3GAN. M3GAN itself, the killer robot herself, was really, really cool, really entertaining. And I do like, at certain points, the movie is smart about it. It takes, like, the small soldiers approach. Like, there's this toy with advanced AI, and it's self-learning and all that. So it develops its own emotions. And, but it becomes too self-aware and doesn't have a filter, so it starts killing people. So it does have the small soldiers approach. It is very similar to the Child's Play remake. And I thought the funky toy commercial was done incredibly well. And there's some smart dialogue here as well. But like I said, I just did not like Gemma that much. And she is a major character in this one. So that's why the movie was just okay to me. And the finale, like I said, I did not like it. I thought it was lame. And the ending is predictable. So that's why I thought it was okay. Maybe I am the only negative person about this. But again, I do recommend it because it is entertaining. I do recommend it. But I think people are going to hate me for it because they're like, oh, you don't think it's one of the greatest movies of all time. You suck. So I'm sorry about that. But Maybe on a second viewing, my thoughts would change on it, but for first impressions, yeah, I thought the Child's Play remake was done better, but I still recommend M3GAN for everything M3GAN does. So that's how I feel. Write down in the comments below, how do you feel about M3GAN? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know. Guys, thank you all so much for watching, and stay tuned for more movie talks. I'll try to tackle more movies that I've seen last year, and that's coming up. All right, thanks for watching. See you later.